Hello guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about the top 10 Canadian NHL prospects. Now I feel the need to make a little bit of a disclaimer. Last episode I did not say that 2019 NHL prospects were out of there. 2019 prospects do not count in this list. These guys have to be drafted already and be a part of some kind of team affiliated for this to count. So no, Jack Hughes for the American list and no Payne Krebs or other guys from the 2019 draft. But again, these lists are pretty subjective, so tell me down below what you think about my list. Who do you think I left out that probably should be in? And let me know the guys that you'd have on here. Now to start off with number 10, I have Morgan Frost of the Philadelphia Flyers. He's 19 years of age, a center. We're going to see a lot of centers on this list, by the way. Canada is just stacked in that respect. 27th overall in the 2017 draft from Aurora, Ontario. In the OHL this season, he played 67 games, had 42 goals, 70 assists for 112 points. That led the OHL this season. Not in points per game, as we'll get into with the other prospects, but he led the OHL in clear points, which was definitely impressive for him. He's obviously shown the offensive explosive potential. It's going to be interesting to see what he can do with Philadelphia, as he'll be a good fit there. And they got a pretty good prospect on their hands right now. It's looking like, as he's looking like an offensive beast for them. At number 9, I have Sam Steele of the Anaheim Ducks, another center of 20 years of age, drafted 30th overall in 2016. He was a part of the Frederik Andersen deal. Remember, Toronto gave up their first-round pick, I'm pretty sure, to get Frederik Andersen, and of course that pick becomes Sam Steele. So we'll see if that bites Toronto in the back in the future, but that pick becomes Sam Steele right now. He was born originally in Edmonton. In the WHL this season, he played 54 games, had 33 goals, 50 assists for 83 points, 1.54 points per game, which was 11th in the WHL, and that was certainly very good for him. In the World Junior Championships this season, he played 7 games, had 4 goals, 5 assists for 9 points. And what he brings a lot towards is the all-around game. He has a lot of offense, a lot of defense, physicality as well. He can certainly bring a lot to it. In the WHL, he's definitely performing offensively. He's brought a lot to the team. I think he's the captain of the Regina Pats, so he's bringing a lot of leadership to that team that they need, and a lot of points and a lot of goal scoring. And for Anaheim, it's looking to be a very, very solid center for the future there. He might take a little bit of time to develop, but once he gets there, he'll certainly be a great replacement for a Kessler, for a Henrique. He'll definitely be a great replacement and a good at least second-line center of the future for them. At number 8, I have Barrett Hayton, 18 years of age, of course, drafted by the Arizona Coyotes, 5th overall in the 2018 draft. He's originally from Peterborough, Ontario. In the OHL this season, he had 63 games played. He had 21 goals, 39 assists for 60 points, right around that point per game player. And the thing that strikes him is not his offensive ability, even though he has a pretty good offensive skill set. It's his defense, and he's been compared to guys like Patrice Bergeron when he's been drafted 5th overall. He's been that defensive beast in the OHL. He's definitely been compared to elite defensive guys in the NHL as that centerman. So he's going to have some big expectations on that side of the ice. I think that he will be a solid center for the Arizona Coyotes. I don't think he's 5th overall worthy, but I feel like he'll be a good shutdown guy, possibly a better Nazem Kadri, a guy like that. A guy that's really underrated, a guy that's shut down, a guy that can really shut down and shut down the play. And I feel like that's what Barrett Hayton brings, and that'll definitely bring to the NHL. He's that skill set offensively as well, but the main thing is his defense. And while, of course, he wasn't, I guess, the consensus 5th overall pick, he definitely is going to bring a lot to the Arizona Coyotes. He's probably the second best center in that draft behind Kotkaniemi. He brings a lot to the game. While I don't agree with the Arizona Coyotes picking him 5th overall, he's going to be a fantastic guy in the NHL. I don't think he'll be a first-line guy, but will be a definitely good shutdown guy in the future, and that's what he definitely brings, and that's definitely what he's going to bring when he breaks the NHL. Now, 7th on my list, I have Robert Thomas of the St. Louis Blues, 19 years of age, drafted 20th overall in the 2017 draft, originally from Aurora, Ontario, and he's definitely had his stock rise a heavily amount for the last year. Of course, drafted 20th overall. In the OHL this season, he played 49 games, had 24 goals, 51 assists for 74 points. I think he played with both the Bulldogs and the Ontario Knights, or London Knights, so he played on 2 OHL teams, so we had to adapt to both of them, which is a hard thing to do. In the OHL, he was 7th in points per game if you add both statistics from both teams. In the World Junior Championships this season, he had 7 games played, 1 goal, 5 assists for 6 points, which is not bad at all. And the thing that strikes me the best is that he was able to play good on both OHL teams that he was on, was able to adapt to both OHL teams, and that's what strikes me from him. He was able to play well on both, and overall, he was a good player in the OHL, definitely bringing a lot of offense. The defense is a good asset of him as well. He's certainly going to be a great guy for the Blues in the future, and I'm kind of surprised that he wasn't given up in the Ryan O'Reilly trade, but the Blues work their magic and keep a guy like him who will definitely be valuable in the future, and he will be very, very good in the future. Robert Thomas doesn't come to me as like a top talent, but he comes as a good second line of the future, kind of like Barrett Haitman, but kind of in a different style. I feel like he'll be around that second line center type guy for the future, and Robert Thomas definitely has potential, and I feel like he can definitely fulfill it, especially with the St. Louis Blues, who really develop well. Now, number 6 on my list, you could go a lot of different ways on what you think he is, on where you think he would go, but I have number 6, Dylan Strome from the Arizona Coyotes, age 21, 3rd overall in the 2015 NHL Draft. Looking back on it, he's not a 3rd overall talent. We can obviously tell from that, but he's a very solid player. He just needs more time. And I'm going to be talking about this in a later video, and especially in the offseason, but for me, he brings a lot of talent, and he still has that talent level. He's just taking a lot longer than some other guys. 3rd overall in the 2015 draft, originally from the Mississauga, and in the AHL this season he played 50 games with the Tucson Roadrunners, had 22 goals, 31 assists for 53 points. That was, I'm pretty sure, 27th in the AHL. He had a 1.06 point per game, which was 8th among players with 30 plus games in the AHL. So he is really, really good and has shown really, really good offense on that team. I feel like he can be an NHL player next season and perform well. It'll take a couple of years for him to really adapt to NHL ice, and if he gets the opportunity next season, that'll be the big thing. But for me, he's a year out from really bursting his bubble, from really getting out there and really playing fantastic to what he was supposed to be. And I feel like he's just taking a lot longer to develop than other guys, and that's okay, but he's gonna get there. I feel like he has like a year left, and he's really going to just blast off. And yes, Dylan Strome, he's definitely fallen off a cliff when it comes to the rankings in the 2015 NHL Draft, but I still think that he definitely has a lot to prove. He definitely has a lot still left in the tank, and with the talent level, I feel like it's still there. He's shown it in the AHL, and if he gets the opportunity next season in the NHL, I feel like it's just a ticking time bomb of when he's going to explode productively. I feel like he's just a guy that is ready, and he's definitely going to get the opportunity sooner or later. It's just about when, and if he does, he's going to be a fantastic player for the Arizona Coyotes. I think he could be one of the guys that breaks out next season. Now at number 5, I have Gabriel Vilardi of the Los Angeles Kings. He's another center on this list. I mean, we pretty much only had centers so far. It's going to get a little bit different, for sure, but bear with me. It's pretty much been only centers for this list, and that's fantastic for just Canada in general. They have a great young core of centers going through the future there, and Gabriel Vilardi is certainly one of them. He was 11th overall in the 2017 draft. He was originally from Kingston when he was drafted by the Los Angeles Kings. It's a pun, I know, and it's very much a forced one. But in the OHL this season, he had 32 games played, 22 goals, 36 assists for 58 points. And the reason he only had 32 games was because I think he was with a back injury, and he only started playing in December of this past season with his team. And, of course, he was injured for a little while, which definitely affected him. But he was second in points per game in the OHL this season, behind second place guy on this list with 1.81 points per game, which was absolutely amazing. If he got more games played, he would certainly be up there for one of the best guys in the OHL points-wise, and he was definitely up there. Gabe Vilardi, he's certainly risen up the stocks in the last year just because of what he's been able to prove. Even when he's been injured, he was able to do a lot in development camp and show a lot, but in the OHL, he's definitely proven a lot too. I mean, sure, he was injured, but he played fantastic when he was able to play and was amazing in the OHL. He's certainly going to have maybe one more year there and will really blast off. I feel like he's just like a year out, and then he'll be NHL ready. He might even be NHL ready next season. It's all about what he improves in the offseason, but I feel like he's really close to the NHL level. When he gets there, he's going to be a stud. Now at number 4, this is where we really get to the cream of the crop when it comes to the Canadian prospects. At number 4, I have Cale Makar of the Colorado Avalanche, drafted 4th overall in the 2017 NHL Draft, and the first guy that is not a center throughout this list. There we go. We got a defenseman. Of course, he was drafted 4th overall by Colorado in the 2017 draft. He's from Calgary. In NCAA this season, he had 34 games played, 5 goals, 16 assists for 21 points, but he's been improving a lot, and throughout his draft year, he gave a lot, and I think it was in the AJHL or whatever it was called. He was really phenomenal, and because he was in a lesser league, he didn't get all that recognition, but in the NCAA, he's played pretty well on what he was played, and he was really solid, and I feel like Cale Makar is really, he might be a project. He might be a little bit long, take a little bit longer than a guy like Miro Heiskanen, who was drafted ahead of him, but I feel like he will get there, and he'll play a very solid guy. Maybe not a top 2 talent, but I feel like the top 4 defenseman in him is certainly going to happen. I feel like he's a decent bet to make the NHL, and he certainly has that talent level, both offensively and defensively. 21 points in the NCAA when you only play 34 games is very, very good, and he's shown a lot of talent level. I feel like he needs like a couple more years, maybe, and then if he gets the Colorado Avalanche, if he's still there, he'll play pretty well, and I feel like he's a guy that will take a little bit longer, but he always has had that talent level, and he will show it and continue to show that talent level. I feel like he's getting closer and closer, just inching his way forward, and once he gets to the Colorado Avalanche and starts playing, I feel like once he gets that ice time, he'll really start to show what he's made of, offensively, defensively. He has a great all-around skill set, and he'll start to show it in a few years. I feel like he's a little bit more of a project than the other guys on this list, but he'll be fantastic once he starts getting the ice time. Now at number 3, I have goaltender Carter Hart. At age 19, drafted by the Philadelphia Flyers, 48th overall in the 2016 draft from Sherwood, Alberta. In the WHL this season, he was absolutely dominant. 41 games played, 1.60 goals against average with a .947 save percentage. And yeah, that's not video game numbers, that's real life apparently. The closest guy was an American-born guy who had like a .926 save percentage in 20 games. Hart was like 20 points above that guy, and he played more games and was sick for some of that games. It was crazy. The stories you can see from what he was doing. He was just a phenomenal goaltender. He was hurt for a little bit, and then he was sick for a little bit, was still playing for most of that, and it was still absolutely brilliant. And he still showed in the WHL that he was absolutely the dominant goaltender, and just a league above everybody else in that league. And of course, in the World Junior Championships, he played 6 games, had a .181 goals against average, and a .930 save percentage. Again, not very bad, not bad at all for a goaltender in the World Junior Championships, and he was obviously dominant there too, against other guys that had amazing talent level, instead of some rinky-dink WHL guys. And what Carter Hart has shown has just been absolutely dominant. I feel like, again, he's one of those guys that will make one more year, and then he will be absolutely phenomenal with the Philadelphia Flyers. And he's exactly what they need right now. A solid goaltender and a guy that has amazing potential. And Carter Hart is one of the best prospects for sure on this list, but he's one of the best goaltending prospects that we've seen for a while on the Canadian side as well. He's looking fantastic, and is definitely the best goaltending prospect in my eyes overall. At least one of the best, and he's shown that he's been absolutely dominant in the CHL and the WHL, and wherever he's played, he's been absolutely amazing and astounding. He just needs to keep playing like that, and he'll for sure be in the Philadelphia Flyers in the next couple of years. Number 2, this may get a little bit steep here. I know I'm gonna get some arguments here, but at number 2, I have Jordan Kyrou. Age 20, a center. St. Louis Blues drafted him 35th overall in the 2016 NHL draft. And you may be thinking, why is he this high? Well, give me a second. Of course, he was born in Toronto, but in the OHL this season, he had 56 games played, 39 goals, 70 assists for 109 points. That was 3rd in the OHL, 1.95 points per game, which was 1st in the OHL, and almost 2 points per game in the OHL is absolutely amazing. And with Jordan Kyrou, I think he was breaking records for how fast he was getting 100 points, something like that. But he was breaking records in the OHL. He was 1st in points per game in the OHL. He was dominant in the OHL and absolutely astounding. With the Sarnia Sting, he was just a dominant player offensively, and he can bring some defense too. He's shown that as well. In the World Junior Championships, he played 7 games, had 3 goals, 7 assists for 10 points. Was dominant there too. Dominant offensively in the World Junior Championships, dominant offensively in the OHL. He's shown that he can bring both, and throughout his career, throughout the last year, he's shown that he's been one of the best players to come out of the 2016 draft so far, and he's definitely shown that offensive talent. And again, astounding, another player from the St. Louis Blues that was not traded in the Ryan O'Reilly trade somehow, but he has excellent potential. In the St. Louis Blues, I feel like he has definite first-line potential. May not be one of the best guys in the NHL, but I feel like he'll be a very, very solid guy for years to come. I feel like he'll have like a 1 or 2 more years, but then once he gets there, he'll be absolutely dominant. He's shown that in the OHL so far, and I see why not he can't improve further. In the OHL, he's just been absolutely amazing. And even at 20 years old, you are pretty old in the OHL, but still, he's been bringing it. The talent level has been there, and I feel like it's just a matter of time before he just explodes in the NHL. Now, Jordan Kyrou, he's just shown the offensive talent and the dominating force in the OHL that he's already been. I feel like it's just a matter of time before he goes in the NHL, performs, and keeps climbing up. I feel like he has the talent, he's shown it already, and is like going to be one of the best second-round picks from the last few years, at least so far. Now, first overall, on the Vegas Golden Knights, Cody Glass. Now, he's age 19, another center on this list, 6th overall in the 2017 draft from Winnipeg. In the WHL this season with the Portland Winterhawks, I'm pretty sure that's what they're called, he had 64 games played, 37 goals, 65 assists for 102 points. That was 7th in the WHL, and a 1.59 points per game, which is 8th in the WHL. And WHL has a lot of guys that are kind of overgrown, and a lot of guys that are a lot older than him. And Cody Glass has done that in 18, or when he was 18 and 19. So he's shown both in that talent level, and he's been playing against older guys as well. Very, very fantastic numbers in the WHL, and he's also showing the defense. We've seen that a lot in scouting reports, and that everybody keeps saying that his defense is fantastic, and it's been fantastic. That's what he really brings, and he's been looking to be one of the best all-around center prospects available right now, if not one of the best, and he's looking to be one of the best prospects available in general. So he's shown the talent level, offensively, defensively. For me right now, he's the perfect package of all-around play, and of course he's a center. He brings offense, he brings defense, he brings physicality, he brings tons of a great player team, and to Vegas, they got a great guy going forward, and a guy that, for me, is a must-have prospect. He's fantastic, and has looked like it, and for Vegas, he has a huge future there as well, with lots of talent, and I think that he can definitely show the NHL in the next few seasons here. But to me, the gap between Glass and Kyrou is not that huge, so to me, it could go either way depending on what I feel like. So it's pretty close here. A lot of these prospects are fantastic, but they are close to here together, so I could move it around if I really wanted to, but I feel like Cody Glass is just a little bit better of a prospect all around, a little bit better of a player, and a little bit, probably more of a chance of having a successful career over a guy like Kyrou. But to me, Cody Glass is the all-around package, the all-around great prospect. He brings tons to your team, and for Vegas, he brings a lot of valuable play that they'll need in the future, and their young core is already looking fantastic, but having Glass there is the huge centerpiece that they need. But again, I know my list could go a lot of different ways, so the biggest thing is your guys' opinions. Who do you think I left out? What do you think I should put in? What do your guys' lists look like? And what players did I miss? What players would you rather have in? And that's the biggest thing here. Let me know what your lists are. It has a very solid future with these prospects. Even though it's not the greatest pool that they've had recently, it's been a pretty solid pool. They got a lot of very, very good talent. Not really any superstars, like confirmed superstars like America has with like a Jack Hughes or whatever. But with Canada, they have a lot of very, very solid players and a lot more to come in the 2019 draft as well. But that's going on for today, guys. Make sure to like and subscribe. Comment below what you think of my list. Again, what do you know about my list? Do you think I should change it? What is your guys' list? Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.